Hello and welcome to another What Sold video. This is everything that sold for me on eBay from April 15th to April 21st. And I'm going to scoot over here and just get into it. So the first item I have to share is a tie. I love buying and reselling ties as long as I pay under like $3 for them. They're normally really cheap, they don't take up any space, and they're really easy to ship. They're easy to ship. I sold this Van Heusen tie for $10.30 and the buyer paid for shipping. I only picked up this Van Heusen tie because it was new. I would not normally pick up Van Heusen at all. This is a set of 3 books by Terry Goodkind. It's the first 3 books in the Sword of Truth giant series that he has. It's huge. It's a huge series. These were free to me. They came from my partner. I found him first edition hardcovers at the bins, and so he gave me the paperbacks to resell as trade. They sold for $10 with free shipping, so I made about $5 off of this sale. Perfectly happy for that. This is Zone by Mathis Innard, or Innard, however you want to say that. I picked this up only because it was brand new and I got it at that big book buyout, so I have 10 cents into this book. This is Ariat. It is a women's medium shirt. It is a pearl snap shirt. I do like buying and selling pearl snap shirts. I don't find Ariat very often in my area, but when I do try to pick it up. This sold on offer for $14 and I paid $6 for this at a thrift store. This is a Bagolini bag. I originally got this at the bins. I paid $2 for this bag. It had stains all inside of it. I got almost all of them out. There was one ink stain that refused to come out, but I did disclose it in there. And I cleaned it up and it sold for $12 and the buyer paid for shipping. This is a pair of Shein rompers. I also got these for free from Ernie and Carolyn. I'm sure that they were Carolyn's, so Carolyn, if you're watching this, thank you very much. Sold for $9.50 free shipping. Again, these were free to me. It cost like $5 for me to ship them, so I made a couple of bucks and saved a couple of things from the landfill. I probably would either take those to a buy-sell trade next time and or just donate them. I realized that I probably should have taken most of the stuff that Carolyn gave me that wasn't like, you know, $10 or more to a buy-sell trade, but that honestly, when they gave me all of that stuff, did not occur to me at that time. It just completely escaped my mind that that was an option. This is a pair of 511 tactical shorts. I paid $4 for these each, so a total of $8 for 2. At the Goodwill in Williamsburg, they sold for $24 and then the buyer paid padded flat rate for shipping. So perfectly happy to turn these very quickly into, you know, 15 bucks. 511 used to sell really well. Now it is a little oversaturated, as well as the ASP is not as high as it used to be. This is a pair of Levi's 501s. I picked these up at the bins, so I have less than $1 into them. They sold for $12. I had originally put those up on Whatnot, and they did not sell, but they did sell when I listed them on eBay, which makes me really happy. So again, when I'm doing this Whatnot experiment this year, it is everything that I pick up is stuff that I would list on eBay myself. I do list it on eBay myself, and it does sell in my eBay store. So I'm just trying to, again, be transparent about that. Cool. That was weird. Another bins pickup, I picked up this hardcover Garfield book for 50 cents at the bins. Sold for $7.08. Again, making a couple dollars. And saving a book from the landfill, which is very important to me as someone who really, really loves books. I also have a soft spot in my heart for Garfield, so definitely happy to save this book. This is a dress. I don't know I ever did a haul for this thrift trip, but I went to the Dab in Hampton and I found this beautiful Urban Outfitters Constellation dress. It was like this crushed blue velvet, absolutely gorgeous dress, long maxi dress. It sold for $29 and I paid $6 for this at that thrift store. So I'm so glad I finally listed it. Again, dresses and pants, bane of my existence. They make so much money, but they just sit in my death pile because I even got Karen specifically for dresses. Still, it helps a little bit, but not enough. This is a vintage copy of Black Beauty from 2001. It's just a Barnes & Noble hardcover, but still sold for $7.08, and I paid 50 cents for this at the bins. These I believe I picked up at the Goodwill next to the bins, so there's a retail location next to the bins location in Hampton, and I saw these Adidas original shoes. They were not marked up, which I was super surprised about, so I paid $9 for these, and they sold for $40. These were a collaboration between Adidas and Pharrell Williams, and if you don't know what I'm saying Adidas, but I'm saying it the rest of the world way instead of the American way. So there's that. Pharrell Williams also, if you don't know, not only is he a musical artist in his own right, he is also a producer as well as a writer for songs. So really cool collab there. This is the last Vans Carlo shirt. So there is an outlet mall in Williamsburg, and I managed to go to the Goodwill there in Williamsburg when that Vans outlet had donated a bunch of brand new with tag stuff that I guess didn't sell in the store, so they just decided to donate them. This was the last shirt I had. I had basically an entire size run, and they did have some sun fading where they were folded up in the window for too long. I just disclosed it and they still sold. I paid $5 for this at that Goodwill. Sold for $11.90. It was great. It was great to just photograph one item and just do a size run. I really wish I could find more of that because it just makes everything so much easier. Another book that I found at the bins, so I have 50 cents into this. I did put this one up for sale on Whatnot. I do offer most of my horror, science fiction, and fantasy books up for sale on Whatnot first. And nobody bought it on Whatnot, but it did sell on eBay for $7.08. Again, making a couple dollars and saving a book from the trash. Another bins find. This is Eustace Chisholm and the Works by James Purdy. This is a first edition copy of this paperback book, and it did sell for my full asking price of $19.87. And if you can't tell from the cover, it is one of the first instances of gay erotica in a novel form that was published by a major publishing house. So, yay! This is a GM Chevrolet t-shirt. I believe I picked this up either at Diversity or at the bins. I can't remember. Either way, I paid less than $1 for it, or $1 or less for it. Sold for $7.90 very quickly after I listed it, so this was awesome. Very happy with this. This is a set, the brand new set, so Volume 1 and Volume 2 of the Chronicles of Crestomancy by Diane Wynne Jones. There's actually 4 novels, so 2 novels in each one of these books. I actually found these at the Dav by my house in brand new condition, so I lotted them together. Thought about keeping them for myself because they got cats on the covers, but I did let them go. This is actually international sales, so even something like a couple of mass market paperback books, some people are willing to pay that international sales price because they have a hard time getting it in their area or because it's way expensive to get in their area. So even with the international shipping rates, it's still cheaper to get it on eBay from an American buyer or American seller. So $13.87 free shipping. I have $2 into this, so I made, $7 off the sale. Love it. This is a Joie piece. I am getting pickier about Joie, but this was 100% linen, and it was this bright yellow color. And this is actually a viewer sale. So Janice, thank you so very much for buying this from me. She snapped this up pretty much as soon as I listed it. So Janice, I hope you love it. I hope it's keeping you cool this hot summer. And yeah, she paid $15.90. I sent her an offer and Janice snapped it up. So Janice, thank you very much for buying from me and supporting me. This is that pair of Stubbs & Wooten I found at the Goodwill by the Boys House. Stubbs & Wooten they specialize in beautiful needlepoint, velvet, and felt shoes. They range anywhere from like hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on how intricate they are. And they had been on my unicorn list for a really long time, and I finally found a pair. They were a pair of 9.5s. And they sold for a total of $68. I accepted an offer, and I'm just really glad that I finally checked this one unicorn off of my BOLO list. Hopefully I will find another pair Hopefully not in my size, because these were beautiful. They were absolutely stunning. If they weren't too big for me, I might have been tempted to keep them. But they were beautiful. They were in great condition. $68. I paid $9 for these at the thrift store. This is a pair of Canali Tetsudo pants. I found these at Diversity. I paid $1 for them, and they sold for $27.90. Now, the reason I know it's the Tetsudo pair of pants is because it was on the tag. So most modern Canali, it will have what kind of style it is somewhere in the tag, normally on the material tag, so it does make it easier to list them. This is another viewer sale. So Eric, thank you so very much. He watches both my book channel and this channel. So Eric, I appreciate you. I've put both of these books up for offer on Whatnot. They didn't sell on Whatnot, and when I realized that I had two books from the Stainless Steel Rat series, I lotted them up together. So this is the Stainless Steel Rat Joins for President, or Runs for President, and also Joins the Circus by Harry Harrison, which is one of his most well-known science fiction series. It's not a serious science fiction series. It's like supposed to be a humorous SF. He paid, I believe, $9.87 for these, and I found them at the bins. So I really appreciate you, Eric, that you support both my channels and that you supported me here. So I hope you've had an opportunity to read them and that you enjoyed them. This is a brand new Untuck It shirt. This also sold very quickly after I listed it, which is always a joy to me. I know Untuck It doesn't have the renown it used to or the high ASP it used to, but I still pick it up, especially when it's in new condition, and I paid $5 for this. Sold for $23.90. This was a great return on my investment, especially since it was such a quick turnaround. I do love picking up Delia's. Now, Delia's went out of business. However, there is modern Delia's because Dolls Kills bought the right to produce Delia's clothing. If it is not a vintage piece of Delia's, okay, let me say this a different way. If it is vintage Delia's, when you go look at the material tag, it will not have dollskills.com on it. If you look at the material tag and it says dollskills.com on it, it is a modern piece. It is not a vintage Delia's piece. Now, I say that because Dolls Kills, of course, in Y2K and 90s fashion is really big, which is, I'm sure, why they bought that branding. So some of the modern stuff will look vintage, but check the material tag, and that's a really good tell to make sure that you are not mislabeling something. But this is actually a Y2K piece. This was from the early aughts, and it was a junior size large, women's size small. Also, the sizing will be a little bit weird because Delia's actually was a junior's brand. So if you're in like the 90s, stuff was like looser, baggier fit, and then when it got into the Y2K style, everything like swooped right up. So I'm just saying this in case you are interested in selling vintage clothing, or specifically vintage Delia's, or you find it out in the wild. It's a brand that I know a lot about because it is a brand that I, as a tween, really wanted to buy, but it was expensive and I never had the money for it, and it was a catalog brand, and so yeah. Sigh. I have one piece now in my closet as an adult, and it is like the late 90s Delia's, so it does actually fit me, which is great. So I do have one piece now in my own closet that I will probably keep for a while. Also, Moxie has found a little cubbyhole back here. That's why I've pushed all the blankets over, is so now Moxie will come back here and just lay down, and I'll just hear her purring behind me while I'm filming these videos. I think it's very funny. This is an Angora blend cardigan sweater. I said it's an Angora blend because of the fact that there was no material tag on this. However, it was definitely, it had Angora material in it because it was fluffy. If you were someone who has sold clothing for a while, you kind of get a feel for different textiles. And it also didn't have a size tag in it, so I just based everything off of measurements. And I bought this at a lovely little Korean woman's estate sale who had passed, and I bought a lot of her clothes for $2 each. This sold for $20. Gorgeous sweater, beautiful, very fluffy, very soft. It also had cherry blossoms felted into the sweater with a 3D aesthetic. Really cool sweater. glad it moved on to a new home, and I'm glad it didn't end up in the landfill. Peter Handke, who I will actually pick up in pre-owned condition. This is a new book, and I did pick this up in that big book buyout, so I have 10 cents into this book, but he is someone who I will pick up because he is considered a classic literary figure even here in the States. So I will pick up his stuff in used condition and then lot them together as well. But this sold for $12.87. Again, 10 cents into it. Great sale there. This is a hat. I will pick up hats when I'm at the bins. This one I offered up on Whatnot. It didn't sell on Whatnot, but it did sell on eBay. This was Piper Lou, which honestly this hat cost I think like $15 or $16 brand new. So the fact that it sold for $7.90 in pre-owned condition and somebody paid $5 for shipping, perfectly happy with this. It said catch waves, not feelings. So I don't do retail arbitrage very often, mostly because I'm not good at it. I am bad at it. I normally only do it like maybe once or twice a year just to be like, am I still terrible at this? The answer is almost always yes. But I did find a bunch of brand new with tag Birkenstocks at a box store at a price point I thought that I could move them quickly, and I was correct. All 3 of the Birkenstocks I purchased sold because we are going into the summer months and Birkenstock people wanted new Birkenstocks, I guess. But this sold for $70. I originally paid $55 for it at that store. So did I make a whole lot of money after shipping? Nope. Sure didn't. But I did it. And I didn't lose money. So that in my book is a win. But the biggest win actually is this next bundle sale that Leah bought from me when I did that one haul with all that Carhartt, where I basically was like right place, right time. I had the overarching desire to go thrifting, and I went to the one by the boys' house and I found all this Carhartt and it was awesome, and she bought a bunch of it from me. She bought this New with Tags women's 2XL t-shirt from me for $16.87. She bought one of the 2XLT polos for me for $19.87. She bought one of the 3XL t-shirts for me for $14.87, and she bought another one of the 3XL t-shirts from me for $14.87. And you can see here that there were some refunds on there because it didn't cost, you know, $25 for me to ship all of this to her. I put it all in one big box and was able to ship it to her. So that was just me refunding the shipping overage, which I do even if you're not a viewer. If there is a large discrepancy in the shipping price, I do refund my buyers, especially now that eBay has made it so that way, like, you don't, it also refunds the fee that eBay charges on the shipping as well. So in my personal opinion, there's no reason not to do that unless you just don't want to. And again, you do you. It's your business. This is my business. This is what I do. But Leah, I hope whomever you gave those pieces to, love them. I hope you have enjoyed the pieces, because it's been, you know, a couple months now since you bought those from me. But I do really appreciate it. That was an amazing sale, and it was really cool the fact that like I went gut thrifting and had such amazing return right away. And it was one of you guys that helped me realize that to happen. So Leah, thank you. Janice, thank you. And Eric, thank you. All 3 of you bought stuff from me. I really appreciate it. Carolyn and Ernie, thank you so much for donating some stuff to me. And I guess I should also thank my partner, but he never watches my videos, so I'll just thank him when I go see him later. But I appreciate y'all so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, this is what's selling for me in my business. If these are not items that you want to sell, don't sell them. Congratulations, you don't have to. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye. Bye. Hero, hero. I wanna be a hero, hero. Oh, the hero.